welcome everyone. We thought you'd like to know how to make a wreath for Advent, especially as we have one in church. It's quite nice if you can light your own candle when we light ours during the service. So I'll just show you what we're aiming for. This is a wreath I made earlier, Blue Peter style. And in front of me are the things you're going to need to make your Advent wreath. First of all, we have this thing which is called an Oasis Naylorbase floral foam Posy pad, and it's 23 centimetres and 9 inches wide, and you can get these from Amazon, but it's very important to have a base on the bottom like this. The Naylorbase is the plastic bit there. You can get them at Hobbycraft as well, I think. And then you need some plastic candle holders. You need 5 of these, and they're 1-inch green plastic candle holders. And you can get those also from Amazon. You might find it safer to use LED candles, but also here we have normal candles. You need 5 candles, doesn't matter what colour. And you need 2 things to make templates, or act as templates, on your foam pad here. So you need something which measures about 7 centimetres, and this cup's about right for that, and something else that measures around 13 centimetres, and this bowl is pretty good for that as well. And you just need a few bits and pieces to help you. You need a teaspoon, which you'll be using to scoop out some of the foam. You need a knife, a blunt knife, to help you also scoop the foam out, a pencil to mark around your templates, and some strong scissors, or secateurs if you're brave, to cut your foliage with. And also, of course, you need lots of foliage, and you can use whatever you like really. Evergreen is very good because it will last a long time. I've got some ivy here that I got from the hedgerow. This is from our garden with some little berries on, and also variegated shrubs are quite nice for it. Yeah, so just see what you can find. You don't really need to spend any money, just what you can find around the place. And you need to cut your foliage to lengths of about 4 to 5 inches for the evergreen bits, or whatever piece you're going to be using to go around the edge. And then for the pieces that you put on top, they can be shorter in length, perhaps around about 3 inches or so. So it's handy to cut all those to length before you actually use them. And make sure that you've got enough little bit on the end, like a stalk bit, so that you've got enough grip when you push it into your Oasis. And you might want to just trim it into a little V shape rather than having it all straight. Great, so we can now go on to how you make it. So what you need to do, I hope you can see this on the table, is to get your cup, place it in the middle, and then draw a line in pencil around the cup. Make it quite deep so you can see when you've gone. So that's the first mark. You can just about see. I've just drawn around there. Sorry, this is an old Oasis, so it doesn't show up very well. And then if you put your next template, bowl, or whatever you're using, in the middle again, and draw around it, make a nice deep line as well. And that will give you your second line. And there we have it. So that's line 1, and that's the second line we've got. And what we're going to do is we're going to scoop out the area between the 2 lines, the little kind of channely bit here. You might find it helpful to use your knife, your blunt knife, to just go round and cut along the lines you've made. That will make it easier to scoop it out. And then what we do is we try and scoop out the area between the 2 lines. You might want to cut it a little bit, just long to help you, it's up to you. But the spoon usually works quite well. So we'll just try scooping out with the spoon. I'll just stand up for this bit. that's the bit for your candle, your main candle in the middle, and then the other candles go around the edge. So what you need to do next is you need to fill your sink about halfway up with cold water, and the Oasis will have to go in that water upside down because otherwise it will just bob around as it's got a plastic bottom. And just wait for a while for it to sink a little bit and for the water to be absorbed. It won't take too long, but it's quite important you do that, and then the Oasis will be thoroughly soaked through, and the moisture that's sort of retained there will help your leaves to keep nice and fresh. But assuming the Oasis is nice and soaked through, the next stage is to get your candles and put on your candle holders very firmly so they're nice and they don't wobble around. Make sure this candle is a bit loose, so you don't really want that. You really want the fatter candles, so be careful of that. But we'll say this one is alright even though it isn't at the moment. Okay, and now what you need to do is to put one candle in the middle. I'll put a little X there, but right in the middle, press it down very firmly. And now we're going to put some of the small pieces of foliage around the candle. And make sure you've got a nice end that will poke in easily. Nice firm end, and then it will stay in. And try to make sure that there's none of the Oasis showing. Okay, so the middle bit's done now. And all the Oasis looks covered. So next we'll put in our other 4 candles. And try and evenly space them around your ring. Right, so we've got the basis for the next stage of what we'll be doing. So I'll actually go on to my other Oasis now, the one that's nearly complete, so we can finish it off. So basically, on this Oasis, we've done the middle bit, we've got our candles in, but we're just going to do the next 2 stages, which will be putting in some longer pieces of foliage around the edge, and then putting some shorter pieces of foliage on the top to cover up the Oasis completely. So we'll start off putting in, I'll turn it that way so you can see a bit clearer, the foliage around the edge, and you might need to overlap it a little bit to cover the Oasis. And make sure again you've got enough stalk to pop it in. Takes a little while to cut all these pieces to length and to sort of trim them off a little bit so they look okay on the top as well. You can use evergreen for all of your wreath if you want, but it's quite nice to have a variety of things. So now we've got our longer pieces all around the edge, and then the idea is to cover up the top of our Oasis with some shorter pieces. And so I've got some like variegated leaves for this, and they seem to do it quite well. So we just pop them in, sometimes at an angle, but make sure you cover all your Oasis up. And we've hidden most of the Oasis around the candles. Yeah. So now just have to make sure that you give it a little water now and again, maybe with a spray, because even though they're evergreen, they might sort of fade a little bit. And also, of course, be very careful not to leave your candles unattended. I wouldn't like you to have any fires accidentally in your home. But I hope you have fun and enjoy making your Advent wreath. Thanks a lot. Bye.